Get out of my lobby. This place isn't for your kind. The words weren't an accident. They were delivered like policy, loud and rehearsed. Gregory Vance, manager of the Horizon Grand Hotel in downtown Seattle, stood behind the front desk with judgment written across his face. He looked right at the black woman in plain clothes and decided she didn't belong. What he didn't know was that in exactly 9 minutes, she would fire him and his entire team. Aisha Carter walked through the glass doors alone. No assistant, no designer purse, just a black t-shirt, jeans, and calm eyes that had seen this before. Behind the desk stood Gregory, flanked by clerks Lauren Hayes and Kevin Patel. None greeted her. They looked her up and down like a problem waiting to happen. I have a reservation. Penthouse suite. The name's Carter. Gregory squinted. That's a very high-tier room. Are you sure you booked the right hotel? Aisha slid her ID and black credit card across the counter. Gregory picked them up with 2 fingers, holding the card like it might stain him. Strange. This looks suspicious. Lauren pressed the intercom. Security. We may have an unauthorized guest trying to access premium suites, possibly fraudulent. I'm not here for trouble. I'm here for my room. Kevin scoffed. People try this all time. Fancy cards they found, fake names. From across the room, Sophie Lynn raised her phone. I'm filming this. People need to see this. Jacob Reed started live streaming. Elena Ruiz, the concierge, stepped forward, but Gregory cut her off. She doesn't belong here. Aisha took out her phone. It's happening, she said quietly to her assistant Nia. The system's ready. Gregory still held her card. We've seen this scam before. People flash high-limit cards and disappear when we call the bank. He handed it to Kevin. Lock it up. Kevin placed the card in the safe and slammed it shut. You're done here. Sophie exclaimed. They just took her card. Jacob stepped closer. That's theft. Aisha's voice stayed calm. You're going to regret this. At 24, she'd walked into an Atlanta hotel after a red-eye flight, dressed in sweats. The man at the desk said, You don't look like someone who'd stay here. She slept in her car that night. The next morning, she began outlining a business plan that would grow into one of the largest hospitality groups in the country. Gregory leaned forward. Your reservation's canceled. We don't tolerate deception. You mean the ones watching this right now? She gestured toward the filming guests. Elena looked on, jaw tight. Lauren stepped in. You need to leave now. Are you sure? Positive, or we'll call the authorities. Gregory smirked. Go ahead, make a scene. That's the last time you speak to me like that. Elena stepped forward. She's right. I saw her name in our system. Her reservation is valid. One more word and you're gone too. Aisha reached for her phone. Nia, log this moment. Lock in the video timestamps. Logged. System's ready. Jacob pointed to the card in the safe. It says Carter VIP. It's real. She's real. Gregory scoffed. Anyone can make a fake card. People like her. Finish that sentence. Go on. But he didn't. The words died as he noticed the growing circle of eyes around them. You've just made the worst mistake of your professional life. Gregory smiled like he still held power. You think so? No, I know so. Kevin's voice rang out, holding the safe key like a trophy. This card is now company property until the bank verifies it. But Kevin didn't see the storm he just invited. Lauren stepped from behind the desk and reached for Aisha's arm. You've been warned. Time to leave. The moment her hand made contact, gasps erupted. Sophie's phone caught it instantly. She just grabbed her. Lena stepped forward. You can't put your hands on a guest. Her reservation is valid. You stay out of this if you want your job. I won't lie for you. Gregory dropped all pretense. She's trying to scam us. People like her always think they can play the system. From across the room, phones rose. A gray-haired woman said, "I can't believe what I'm hearing." Aisha brought her phone back to her ear. "Nia, escalate the internal system. Begin audit documentation." "Understood. Time-stamped and recorded. Do you want Carla on standby?" "Give me 1 more minute." Kevin shouted loud enough for the far wall to hear. "You're a fraud, lady. Go back to wherever you came from." Elena was now standing shoulder to shoulder with Aisha. "I've worked here for 3 years. Every time a guest like her walks in alone, confident, dressed down, you treat them like criminals. And every time someone questions it, you say it's policy, but it's not. It's you." Gregory turned toward Elena. "Enough. I want her out now." Lauren added, "She refused to provide valid ID. This is a breach." Jacob turned the camera toward his face. "We're watching a guest be harassed after providing her name, card, and ID. This is disgusting. Return my card now." Kevin leaned over the counter, smirking. "Or what? Or you'll be locked out of the Horizon system for life. No employment, no references, no appeal." Lauren snorted. "You don't speak for Horizon." Elena spoke immediately. "She does. You don't even know who she is." Sophie interjected. "Oh, she does. We all do. Look at how she's standing. That's not someone begging for service. That's someone letting you dig your own grave." Elena stepped forward, voice louder now. "This isn't the first time Gregory ignored complaints like this. I logged 3 last month, 2 from solo women of color, all dismissed." "That's a lie." Jacob swung the camera toward him. "You sure?" Aisha looked around slowly. Every phone was raised. "Your time running this plate? Unchecked is over." "Fine. If you won't leave, I'll call the cops myself." "Please do." For the first time, Gregory hesitated because he saw something in her face that unsettled him. Not fear, not uncertainty. Power, controlled and far beyond his reach. Guests began moving, stepping between Aisha and the front desk. One woman rolled her suitcase into Lauren's path. Another man stood beside Elena. Jacob captured the growing crowd. "They're protecting her now." Aisha took a step forward. "This lobby belongs to me." The words didn't shout. They didn't need to. Kevin's smirk faltered. Lauren looked down. Gregory blinked. "Throw her out now." Gregory's voice cracked. He turned toward the intercom. "To all staff, unauthorized individual in the lobby, do not engage. Fraud alert." The silence that followed was heavier than the words themselves. Sophie shouted, "She's not a fraud! We're recording everything!" Lauren grabbed Aisha's arm again and yanked her toward the exit. "Let's go!" Elena stepped between them. "Don't touch her again." "You'll be fired." "Then fire me. But you're not putting your hands on her." Gregory surged forward. "Do you even know who she is? She's a fraud. People who stay in penthouse suites don't look like that." "You keep saying that word fraud, like it'll make your mistake disappear." "Get security. Call them in now." But Kevin hesitated. His confidence had cracked. Sophie's phone moved from face to face. Jacob turned toward a guest. "Sir, what are you seeing here?" "I see someone getting thrown out of a hotel she clearly belongs in." "That's slander. She hasn't proven anything." Aisha calmly turned her phone toward the crowd. "Would anyone like proof?" She turned to Elena. "Do you see my name in the reservation system?" "Yes, it's under Carter Penthouse, checked in remotely." "And is the VIP tag attached?" "Marked as executive level override, owner level clearance." The lobby fell quiet. Gregory's eyes darted. "That could have been faked." Sophie snapped. "You really think someone hacked your system and brought 2,000 witnesses?" Kevin stepped forward hesitantly. I locked the card under your instruction, Greg. What if we're wrong? You were told to steal from me. That's what you did. A guest, an older woman, moved forward. You're not laying a hand on her again? Others joined. Within seconds, a half-circle had formed in front of Aisha. Gregory stood behind the desk, suddenly much smaller. You're all being manipulated. Kevin whispered something barely audible into the intercom mic, but the whole lobby heard it echo through the speakers. She owns the place, doesn't she? Sophie panned her phone toward Aisha's face. Do you? Elena stepped forward. She does? Gasps rippled across the room. Wait, this is her hotel. Lauren turned to Gregory in horror. You said she was lying. Jacob looked into his lens. This is the moment everything changed. Aisha stepped past Elena, past the half-circle of guests, right up to Gregory. You wanted me out. You framed me. You called me a thief. You humiliated me in my own lobby. From her phone, Nia's voice came through loud and clear. Aisha, Carla is ready. Yes, right now. Carla Bennett's voice came through the speaker. Aisha, everything's prepared. We're standing by. Terminate Gregory Vance. Terminate Lauren Hayes. Terminate Kevin Patel. Immediate removal from the Horizon system. Confirmed. Processing now. Gregory's access badge buzzed red. So did Lauren's. So did Kevin's. They were locked out live in front of every guest. Gregory's composure shattered. This is illegal. You can't just call corporate. But Lauren's hands trembled as she checked her phone. I'm locked out. Everything's gone. Kevin backed away for her, on the counter. Elena raised her hand. You're no longer authorized to handle guest property. Gregory lashed out. Do you really think this circus makes you a leader? You tricked your way in. You'll be sued for this. You think leadership is about hiding things? Leadership is when people who've been ignored finally speak up and they're heard. A woman in the crowd raised her voice. You never took my complaint seriously last spring. I was charged twice for a room and got no response until I threatened legal action. I asked for an ADA-compliant room and was told none were available, then watched someone else get one. One by one, guest voices became a chorus of past slights. Elena stepped forward. I logged 3 complaints in the last 2 months about biased behavior. They were dismissed every time. Gregory signed off on the dismissals. Sophie pulled up her Reddit post, now viral. Hundreds of comments, clips of Kevin's intercom announcement, Lauren grabbing Aisha's arm, Gregory yelling. It's out there now. Everyone's seeing it. Gregory lunged toward the counter. Delete that. That's private property. 2 guests stepped in his path. No, you don't get to silence this. Lauren turned to Aisha, voice shaking. I didn't know. I didn't mean for this to happen. You helped make it happen. You watched it happen. Gregory turned to Aisha, voice ragged. Why didn't you say who you were? You set us up. No. I gave you every opportunity to treat me like any other guest. That was the test and you failed it publicly. Nia's voice returned on speaker. Aisha, the board's authorized full incident response. Carla's ready. Patch her through. Carla Bennett's voice filled the air. Gregory Vance, Lauren Hayes, Kevin Patel, effective immediately. Your employment with Horizon Hospitality Group is terminated. Ms. Carter will supervise next steps directly. Kevin tried one last protest. This is insane. We built this place. You built nothing. You guarded the door and turned away the very people we claim to serve. She turned to Elena. Please unlock the safe. Retrieve my card. Elena entered a new code and opened the safe. Aisha's black card lay untouched. Elena handed it back, eyes glassy with emotion. Then came the guests. One by one, they began clapping. Not loud, but purposeful, acknowledging something overdue. This wasn't just about me. This was about every guest who was told their presence was a problem. About every complaint that disappeared, every policy used to humiliate instead of serve. That ends today. Aisha turned to her phone. Nia, we're proceeding with full lobby-level reform. Prepare the statement and elevate Elena Ruiz's status. She'll be leading this location. Yes, ma'am. Aisha stepped forward. No longer mistaken, no longer anonymous. She had just taken her hotel back, one decision at a time. Aisha stood at the center of the lobby while the 3 disgraced employees she had just fired stood frozen, faces pale, reputations shattered, power extinguished. My name is Aisha Carter. I am the founder and CEO of Horizon Hospitality Group, and as of this moment, I am reclaiming this hotel, not just from the people who misused their roles, but from every excuse they ever hid behind. The words hit like a shockwave. Phones lowered. One guest gasped. She owns it. The whole company. Gregory stumbled forward. Wait, this isn't how we do things. There's protocol. You ambushed us. No, I walked in like every other guest. Quiet, alone, respectful. The only thing I didn't bring was privilege. And you proved how your team responds to someone who doesn't look the part. We didn't know. We couldn't have known. You didn't need to know, that's the point. Elena stepped beside Aisha. I recognized the name when she checked in. I saw the suite tag, the override clearance. I knew who she was, but I didn't speak up right away. I'm sorry. You did more than anyone else in this lobby. You told the truth. You stood up. Now you'll be promoted to Guest Services Director for this property. Effective today. Elena's eyes widened. Guests began to clap again, slower this time, for justice. Lauren spoke for the first time in minutes. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just didn't know what to do. You had a choice, Lauren. You made it when you pressed the intercom, when you grabbed my arm, when you watched your colleague lock away my card like I didn't matter. Lauren cracked. It was Gregory. He told us how to deal with people who didn't match our top-tier guests. He said we were protecting the brand image. That's a lie. No, it's not a lie. It's a confession, and we will document it. Carla's voice returned. We've logged the admission. This will be escalated to compliance and legal teams. Kevin stepped forward weakly. What happens to us now? You'll receive formal notice of termination. Your names will be flagged across Horizon's hiring network. You're banned from future employment with any of our properties. Gregory stared at her. All this because you wanted to prove a point. No. All this because I'm tired of people like you deciding who deserves respect based on appearances. Sophie raised her voice. They tried to erase her, and now she's rewriting the rules. Aisha stepped aside, allowing Elena behind the front desk. Reset the check-in system. Suspend pending reservations flagged under Gregory's staff ID. We'll reach out to all affected guests and offer compensation. If any of you experienced mistreatment at this property, our internal team will be stationed in the lobby. I've instructed Nia to open direct lines for all complaints, and we will respond within 48 hours. No form letters, no PR fluff, just answers. One elderly man tipped his hat. Thank you for not walking away. I've walked away too many times, not anymore. Carla's voice came through again. Media outlets have picked up the footage. The narrative is building, but you're in control. Let them talk. Let the public see what happens when a company doesn't just apologize, but acts. She turned back toward Gregory, Lauren, and Kevin. You're dismissed. Your personal belongings will be sent to you. Security will escort you from the premises. Should I notify building security? No. Let them walk through the lobby. Let every guest see the consequence of unchecked behavior. As the 3 former staff members moved through the lobby under the weight of their own disgrace, no one stopped them. Only quiet murmurs of accountability followed them out. Once the doors closed, Aisha turned back to her guests and staff, not with relief, but with resolve. This wasn't justice. This was a beginning. Reform starts now. And with those words, Horizon Grand Hotel stopped being just a name and became the place where everything changed. 3 months later, the Horizon Grand no longer resembled the place where Aisha Carter had been humiliated. The marble floors remained polished, chandelier doors still glittered, but the silence that once carried judgment now carried welcome. A framed portrait of Aisha now hung near the check-in desk. Beneath it, a plaque read, "This space belongs to every guest, no exceptions." Behind the desk stood Elena Ruiz, now permanently appointed general manager. The reform rippled far beyond Seattle. Horizon Hospitality Group launched a sweeping initiative auditing all 57 properties. Previously ignored complaints resurfaced and new training protocols were enforced company-wide. Each hotel adopted new equity compliance panels and zero-tolerance enforcement. The guests who witnessed the incident received personal letters from Aisha herself. "You stood when others looked away. That matters." Sophie Lynn and Jacob Reed were invited to speak at Horizon's Leadership Summit. "We didn't set out to expose anything. We just refused to put our phones down." But the past refused to stay buried. A former Portland hotel manager confessed something darker. Gregory wasn't just following his own bias. There was a quiet directive from regional leadership. They wanted certain guests treated as non-priority if they didn't match the profile. The Horizon Grand scandal had never been about one man abusing power. It was about a system that quietly enabled it. As former employees from other branches began speaking up, an internal task force was formed. Several dismissed employees were reinstated, others received settlements. Every new manager went through direct accountability orientation. "It takes more than policies to rebuild trust," Aisha told her board. "It takes proof that silence won't be rewarded and telling the truth won't cost you your job." Aisha launched Horizon Forward, a diversity and inclusion initiative focused not on slogans, but measurable outcomes. Elena was named National Advisor for Frontline Guest Experience. At the inaugural summit, Aisha said words that guests, staff, and survivors of silent discrimination would never forget. "Hospitality doesn't begin with the smile you give. It begins with the respect you assume." The audience rose to their feet, not because a CEO had spoken, but because a woman once pushed toward the exit had turned around and opened the door for everyone else.